Hello, welcome back into the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. And I hope you're getting through the full moon in Scorpio. It's a little intense. If you've been watching the news, you've probably been seeing a lot of accidents happening, just all kinds of chaos. And, I hope everybody is taking their time and slowing down. It's not a time to rush, right? All right. So, what are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about the astrology for May 4th, 5th, and 6th. Okay? So, between May 4th and May 6th, the energy is not subtle. Okay? It's the kind of energy where people are going to go too far. They're going to say too much. They're going to push too hard. And then reality answers back. But here's the twist. What feels like chaos at first is actually course correction for all of us. So May 6th, we're going to have Pluto, the planet of power, truth, and transformation, going retrograde. And when Pluto turns inward, nothing fake survives. So let's talk about May 4th. We have Mars square Jupiter. So this is the ignition point because Mars is action and Jupiter is expansion. So put them in a square and suddenly everything gets over exaggerated, right? So there's going to be a lot of overconfidence. You're going to have a lot of overreaction, and there's going to be overextension. So people are not just acting, they're pushing. So the energy is a lot like people taking risks without thinking. And then there'll be a lot of speaking before filtering. And then believing you're right without questioning it. So it's like, have you ever had a moment where you're so sure about something and then later you realize, whoa, I completely overshot. That's the energy that we're going to be getting into. So, as a collective, everyone's going to feel a restless urgency. So, it may feel like I need to do something now, like right now. And then you can have the energy of, I can't sit still anymore. And then there's going to be the energy, I'm tired of waiting. And then here's the problem with that. Jupiter amplifies Mars without adding any accuracy. So it isn't calculated action, it's a lot of impulse. And then the shadow of this, it can show up as arguments escalating quickly. There's going to be ego clashes, and then people taking things personally. There's going to be big reactions over little triggers. So let's go a layer deeper with this. People are going to be reacting from belief systems because Jupiter rules beliefs. So what's happening is my truth versus your truth. And if you work with this energy consciously, this is bold movement. It's taking a leap where you've been afraid to take it, or it can be standing up for something meaningful, or simply breaking out of stagnation. But it requires us to have awareness, because if it's unchecked, the energy can burn bridges. So on May 5th, we have Capricorn in the moon. And so that will shift the tone. after all the impulsive fire of May 4th, well, May 5th will bring grounding, but with intensity. So the moon in Capricorn will say, okay, now let's deal with reality. But Mercury square Pluto, this is where things can go deep. So Mercury square Pluto energy, it's not surface level communication. It's the obsessive thoughts. It's the power struggle in conversations. It's truth coming out whether people are ready or not. So have you ever had a conversation where suddenly it gets a little too real and then the mask drops? This is the transit that we're going through. So what's happening underneath all this, Pluto is exposing and Mercury speaks. So when you put it together, hidden truths bubble up to the surface. So it can look like secrets being revealed and people saying what they've been holding in. Conversations that were once avoided, they're going to be happening. So when you have Capricorn moon influence, the emotional tone will become serious, reflective, and focused on long-term consequences. This is where people start thinking, was that a mistake? What did I just set in motion yesterday? Because remember, May 4th is the impulsive energy. May 5th is the accountability of those actions. So the shadow of all this is there can be manipulative conversations. There can be power plays, mental spirals, and overanalyzing everything. This is where paranoia can creep in during this time. Not everything is as extreme as it feels, but it is definitely intense. But if we use this type of energy in a correct way, it's powerful for shadow work, honest conversations, cutting through all the illusions, and then facing the uncomfortable truths. And that's if you lean into it consciously. You can have a breakthrough that will change everything. And then we have May 6th. Pluto retrograde begins. And now everything will turn inward. Pluto going retrograde is not loud. It's not chaotic on the surface. It's deep. It's subtle. And transformative in a way that unfolds over time. So Pluto changes zodiac signs once every 11 to 32 years, but probably more likely 20 years. It is a slow moving planet. So the effects on the collective, they're slow, which is why changes are subtle. So what does Pluto retrograde mean? Well, it's in the sign of Aquarius. So starting May 6th, going to October 15th, 2026, it's prompting a 5-month period of deep subconscious reflection on power dynamics, social changes, and personal evolution. As the planet of transformation, this retrograde encourages re-evaluating how you engage with community, technology, and your role in collective shifts. So how to utilize this time? Well, look back. So revisit structural changes you began early 2026. Purge and transform. So let go of power struggles and toxic dynamics. community review. So evaluate your role in groups and society. Because Pluto is a slow-moving outer planet, this retrograde affects generations on a deeper structural level rather than causing the minor daily inconveniences. So Pluto rules power, control, transformation, and subconscious. When it goes retrograde, it's all internal. So as a collective shift, this is where people will start asking, why did I react like that? Was this real? What is this really about? And what patterns do I keep repeating in my life? So it's not about others anymore. It becomes about you. And so the psychological impact, the transit's going to pull up old wounds, deep fears, unsolved emotional patterns. And of course, it's not here to overwhelm you. It's here to transform you. So the bigger picture here, let's connect it. May 4th, there's going to be action. Whatever action it is that you take. May 5th, you're going to face the consequences of those actions. And then May 6th, you're going to understand the deeper reason behind it. This is a 3-day transformation cycle. Impulse, reality, awareness. And then the shadow side, there can be resistance to the change, avoiding the introspection, and then there's going to be blaming others instead of looking within. Pluto retrograde will not let any of us bypass the inner work. So this is where the real power begins. It's not external power, it's the internal power. So this will be about breaking cycles, releasing control patterns, reclaiming your energy. So it's not an easy few days, but it's an important one because the universe is showing you something. Where you overextended, where you react instead of respond, where your deeper patterns are still running the show. And of course, as I always say, once you see it, you can't unsee it. So if it feels intense between May 4th and May 6th, well, conversations get real. And if emotions come up unexpectedly, don't just react. You have to ask yourself, what is this trying to show me? Because it's not just chaos, it is alignment. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you like this kind of content, please make sure you subscribe, share, comment, like. It helps to get this kind of content out to other folks that are looking for it. And I love you guys. Remember, it is transformative, okay? Slow down, pay attention, and notice what this is trying to show you during the transit. So, until the next one, I hope this was helpful. I love you, and I will talk to you soon.